Hi everyone, it's Ailin here, back again with another Iridology video. I can't wait to discuss this case with you guys. I found this case to be really interesting, covering a lot of various health issues and health topics that I haven't really covered yet on this channel. So I definitely wanted to take advantage of discussing this case with you guys. I spoke to this gentleman. This is a male's 78-year-old male. I spoke to him and his daughter yesterday and found out a lot about his health issues, his health history. So I definitely wanted to make a video today to discuss my findings and what type of protocol that we're going to put him on so he can restore the health condition of his body. You know, I see him as having a strong constitution. I do notice that people that are of older age, you know, people in their 70s and 80s have a stronger constitution, and they can heal faster once implementing the proper diet and the proper herbal protocol along with detox tools in order to, you know, start reversing all these health conditions. So he has that going for him. However, what he has that's going against him is a lot of lymphatic stagnation all throughout the body, as well as a lot of chronic lymph stagnation, some acute, some subacute. We see all the channels of elimination being blocked off. We also see a lot of sulfur drug deposits. I'm going to be pointing out all these things in this video, what that looks like and how we're going to find a remedy for him in order to heal and reverse all these health conditions. But I'll also be able to pull up in this video all of his main health concerns. You know, like anytime people work with me one-on-one, I do send you guys a health assessment, a health questionnaire to fill out so that you guys can tell me as much information as possible. What are the main things that you are looking to heal? And so I'm going to pull that up for you guys real quick. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Spirit Tropical Healing, Ailin Duran, and you can also give this video a like, and you can also share this video if you feel that it'll help a lot of people find the true path to healing, because detoxification is the top of the mountain. It's the true path to healing. There really isn't any other healing modality out there right now like detoxification. Everyone that has tried everything, that are suffering from chronic health conditions to the most simple health conditions to degenerative health conditions where doctors say we can't help you anymore, we don't know what's going on, we've tried everything, all of these people find their remedy through detoxification. I know I did personally myself when I was told that fibromyalgia could not be healed, that chronic fatigue could not be healed. This is how I found my remedy several years ago, and this is why I'm so passionate about sharing this knowledge with you guys so all of you can heal. And I always say take health into your own hands, because no one's going to take care of your body just like you. You know, you guys make the decision every day to eat raw foods, to eat fruits, to go outside and play, to spend time in nature, to you know, drink the fruit juices, to pump your lymph system, to you know, you guys get overjoyed and so happy when you start seeing kidney filtration, all the mucus leaving your colon, all these different things. So I want to pat all of you guys on the back for all of you that are sticking with this journey, with this detox journey. You're doing such a great job, and I'm so proud of all of you. And just take it day by day, and one day before you know it, you'll wake up one morning and all your health issues will be gone. I know that's how it happened with me, and that is how it happens with all of the clients that I work with. So I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm here for you. I'm here to provide you with the knowledge to empower yourself, with the you know, with the emotional support to keep you guys going. And I truly appreciate all of you being so interested and invested in your health. Okay, so yeah, so let's jump into the video and discussing this case. Oh, what happened there? Oh, okay, so let's jump into this video, discuss this case. First off, I'm going to pull up this gentleman's main health concerns. I hope you guys can see this. The screen might be too bright, but if you guys can't see it, I'll just read it off for you. So this person's main health concern is they came to us wanting to address their urinary issues and getting off of their medication. They're right now about on maybe like 4 to 5 medications that they've been on for about 6 years. So not too bad. We've had clients that have been on medications for over 50 years. And, you know, we eventually get them off of their medication. So someone that's been on medications for about 6 years, you know, less than 10 years, depending on the medication, depending on what purpose purpose it serves. Sometimes you can titrate off of some medications very quickly, and others can take a little bit of a while. So I'll be discussing the medications he's on in this video as well. So he came with those concerns. He has an enlarged prostate. When he went to the doctors, they said that he has about 120 grams of thickening of the bladder wall as well. That's about maybe 0.2 pounds of thickening. So thickening of any wall or any area of the body occurs in an acidic environment. If the cellular waste builds up in the body and the lymphatic system has reached lymph stasis, where it's just not moving, there's a blockage there, then what happens is the hardening of tissue. This hardening can be just from acids, or it can be pulling of calcium from different areas of the body. Calcium deposits can harden tissue as well. An environment of dehydration also causes hardening. If there's no hydration going to the cells, no proper nutrition, that can cause hardening and also decay of tissue. So he's experiencing that on his bladder wall, and he has an enlarged prostate. Anytime we see enlarging of tissue, whether that's the heart, whether that's the prostate, whether that's edema, you know, all these different areas can swell up and enlarge. It's primarily due to an adrenal gland weakness. Prostatitis, the ending of the word itis, what does that signify? Anytime you see a disease name that has the word itis at the end of it, itis indicates inflammation. And inflammation is due to, number one, you're not eliminating your cellular waste that all the cells of your body are producing. Cellular waste cannot be stopped, you know, it's just like us. We have to always go to the bathroom because we consume nutrition. So the same thing goes for the cells. So that's the first reason that causes inflammation. You're not eliminating the cellular waste, right? Number two is the adrenal glands. If you guys have an adrenal gland weakness, the adrenal glands produce corticosteroids. These are anti-inflammatory steroids that help buffer acidic waste in the body, or help buffer any acidic condition in the body. So with a prostate that is highly acidic, acidosis translates to inflammation. That's the medical term, but in detoxification we use the word acidosis. This person's adrenal glands are definitely down, so we have to perk up the adrenal glands to produce more of these natural healing steroids in order to prevent any itis in the body or any inflammation in the body. So we see that going on. And you know, with an enlarged prostate, enlarged prostates, prostatitis, and prostate cancer are so common in today's day and age. You know, I've even had clients that are in their 30s have prostatitis, prostate issues, people in their 40s with prostate cancer. You know, back in the day, it was more common to see issues of prostate cancer and prostatitis in people that were older of age in their 70s and 80s. But nowadays, kidney and adrenal weakness it's become such an epidemic, essentially, for people in their 20s and 30s, that we're seeing these issues younger and younger in the males. Now, this is for males, prostate issues. You know, the prostate, essentially, the role of the prostate is to make this seminal fluid that's alkaline, that feeds the sperm, that prevents it from, you know, dying in the acidic nature of the urine, you know, through the urethra, but as well as the acidic nature of the vagina. So when people have intercourse, the sperm has to survive in order to, you know, give way to life. So that's the main goal of the prostate gland. But then when we see all this hypertrophy, then people can experience a lot of issues with that in the male reproductive system. How that translates into a female with these reproductive system issues, with weak kidneys and adrenals, they see things like ovarian cyst or ovarian cancer, uterine fibroids or uterine cancer, endometriosis, any type of symptomology in those areas in the uterus or in the ovaries. That's very common. And that's just the flip side from male to female and what we see. Very, very common, like I said again, nowadays. Okay, but you know, the main health concern that this individual has is every time they drink a little bit of water, or even if they don't drink that much water, they're urinating every 20 minutes. You know, it's something that's very uncomfortable for them. They said that they always have to be by the toilet. It's affecting their life. They're not able to really, you know, live completely free, you know, do whatever they want. So they want to, like, that's their main goal for detoxification. And sometimes it is harder to get people that are in their 70s and 80s to change their diet completely to raw foods. So this is when we have to work together, you know, healer to client. You have to give them a little bit of wiggle room sometimes, or see where their intentions are. Sometimes they fully want to go all in 100%, but you do have to remind them that it's about consistency. So they have to realize, okay, you know, if you want to jump into the raw foods right now, more power to you, but also realize that this is a long game. This is a long-term game. You have to set the goal within yourself. This is not going to be just a raw food, like a 1 month detox. 1 month detoxes don't exist. 1 month is not long enough to clear the entire body of all this lymphatic stagnation that has built up over 78 years, you know? So I was telling him, think more long term, like 6 months to a year, in order to clear all these wastes and all these sulfur drug deposits and this entire chronic bowel situation, all those different things. So he was very pleasant. He was like, you know, I'm going to do it as long as you give me what I need to do, you know, with set goals, what I can eat every single day, I'll follow it and I'll do it. So I'm really happy about that, because many people have a hard time even letting go of things like meat and dairy, and he was very willing to let go of all those things in order to regain his health. So that makes me so happy, and I'm like very, very proud of him. He hasn't even started and I'm so proud of him. But anyways, so yeah, so he has that issue where he's urinating all the time. Now, one of his main concerns was, okay, if I start eating raw foods, won't I be going to the bathroom more often because I'm going to be intaking high water content fruits and foods? And I was like, okay, yes, that will occur. But even people that don't have prostate issues or bladder issues, when they start jumping onto the raw foods from a standard American diet, they will notice that they'll have more eliminations, you know, going to the bathroom more often, or peeing, you know, like a few times every hour. Now, this is normal and natural, I'd say about the first few days or maybe even the first week. This is natural when you're switching your body to a more hydrating diet. So, you know, it's kind of like a little growing pain transitioning into the raw diet. I would say within the first week, you know, or the first week and a half to 2 weeks maximum, that symptom, that detox symptoms should start to go away. And raw foodists, you know, long-term raw foodists don't have to go to the bathroom like every 20 minutes or every 30 minutes. They actually develop very strong bladders, and their prostate gland starts to shrink, you know, to its normal size. So people that are raw foodists, they actually have very strong bladders. They can hold their urine for a long time, you know, and they don't develop that urgency. So I told him, you know, just a little bit, you know, of a little detox symptom for short term is going to breed long-term results, and you're going to see healing of your prostate long-term. So yeah, so for the first week, you know, he should be by the toilet, essentially, is what I said. Okay, so now the next thing, he did go through a lot of studies. It showed that, you know, like in ultrasounds, it showed that normal bladder function and emptying, that wasn't an issue. But, you know, thickening of the bladder wall, that's not normal, definitely. So, you know, that thickening and that hardening, that's a concern, because hardened areas like that, if you see things hardening like that, then what's the next step? Tissue decay and things like cancer. So we have to get rid of this. He has AFib and also a thickening of the heart muscle. So a lot of areas are thickening in this gentleman's body. A lot of areas are, you know, swelling up, hypertrophy. He also has testicular hypertrophy. They said that they found a fluid, some sort of fluid in his testicles. You know, like the body will start to pull on all these different things, water, calcium, cholesterol, in order to buffer these acids. But, you know, that's an emergency type of situation, and that shouldn't be left there to fester. We have to clear all these deposits out of the body. Okay, now with atrial fibrillation, that's generally pointing to quite a few weaknesses in the body. It could be a combination of all these weaknesses that I'm about to discuss, or one or two of them, okay? But with atrial fibrillation, essentially, people are having issues with the nervous system, the nerve impulses to the sinoatrial node. The sinoatrial node is what controls the opening and closing of the valves in the heart. So if you have disturbed firing of this sinus node with the depolarization of the valves of the heart, then you can have improper blood flow going through the valves of the heart. This is very concerning because then you have poor circulation, poor oxygenation to all the cells of the body. Okay, so he has that going on. Nervous system weakness, neurotransmitters can affect the opening and closing of the valves, as well as calcium. So if you have a parathyroid weakness, if you're not able to utilize calcium, then the opening and closing of the valves, that can be disturbed as well, because calcium plays a proponent in opening and closing of valves, and also the sinoatrial node's function. So he has that. So we definitely saw that in his eyes. I'll jump up to the eyes real quick because this was a very big weakness I noticed. This right here is his parathyroid gland. Huge parathyroid gland weakness. I would say definitely genetic, since it's originating from the colon. As a radii solaris, it's going in there. So this is an inherent weakness, and is also showing tissue degeneration of the parathyroid gland. So all throughout his symptoms, you guys are going to see parathyroid gland weakness, parathyroid gland weakness. He could also be having bladder issues and like frequent urination, because he's losing calcium from the connective tissue of his bladder, creating a weak bladder at the same time of having an enlarged prostate. So these things aren't picked up by all these different scans and MRIs and ultrasounds, because they don't pick up acidosis. They only pick up things that are like, okay, this is a very hard, this can possibly be cancer, but they don't pick up when the tissue is in a chronic state or subacute state. It cannot pick that up. It picks it up when it's kind of like already too late, and then they fearmonger you into doing something about it. And their only solutions are surgery. We'll have to remove that area, or sometimes remove the entire organ altogether. Or, okay, let's couple this with medications that we can offer you to suppress your lymphatic system, to suppress the condition. That's not going to get to the root cause of healing. So that happens quite often, and this gentleman has certainly taken his fair share of antibiotics and medications, because all this indication of orange and yellow around the colon, and it's even reached the lymph nodes as well. You see a bit of the lymph nodes. This is the lymph node bed. Well, this sulfur, the sulfur from the sulfur medications that he's taken and antibiotics, it locks the lymph system. Sulfur is like glue to the lymphatic system, and the lymphatic system is the main sewer system of the body that helps keep the cells clean and healthy, keeps the blood healthy, keeps all the organs and glands and systems healthy. This system is vital, and it's a missing key that many medical doctors and even health professionals don't have a clue about. So anytime we address the lymphatic system, the cleaning of the entire body, the relieving of cellular waste, of toxicity, of environmental toxicity, of all these different things, then we start to see healing and tissue regeneration, even tissue regeneration of the nervous system, which to everyone's knowledge is the hardest system to regenerate, but it's possible when on the raw foods and fruits in particular. So, okay, let's move on. Let's see what else we have. Okay, he had a brain aneurysm. So with aneurysms, what we see is we see a weakening of the vascular system. Aneurysms are caused whenever the parathyroid gland is weak, like we said before, and there's a herniation in the blood vessels. So it was a brain aneurysm that they saw. Now, definitely that's of a concern, because if you have something like an aneurysm, then you have, you're actually prone to possibly having one of your blood vessels rupture if it gets too bad, and that can cause internal bleeding. So this is why it's going to be essential to include the parathyroid glandular in this person's herbal protocol. We have to strengthen his calcium utilization to rebuild the connective tissue of the blood vessels, connective tissue of all parts of the body, because he's leaching a lot of calcium right now. So that's extremely important. Now he has high blood pressure as well. High blood pressure is being controlled by the medications. He sometimes takes them, sometimes don't. Right here it says no medications currently, but I think this assessment was from maybe about a month ago. He is on medications for high blood pressure. High blood pressure is simply always caused if people have too much protein in their diets. When we see people removing animal protein from their diets or animal products altogether, blood pressure, high blood pressure goes down and down, even to low blood pressure. I always say high blood pressure is essentially low blood pressure with stimulation, because animal proteins create this false sense of stimulation. When you have high blood pressure, you have kidney and adrenal weakness. The top number represents the health of the adrenal glands. The bottom number represents the health of the kidneys. So in this case, this person's blood pressure, I think, was about 150, I would say, 150 over 80, and then in our call he said it had gone down to 135 over 80. Still high blood pressure. Normal blood pressure should be around 120 for the top number to 60 on the bottom number. Textbook healthy blood pressure should look like that, but you know, it's being controlled by medications. So we're going to titrate him off of his medications slowly. In order for you to titrate off of high blood pressure medication, you have to check your blood pressure daily, because like I said before, the raw foods, they lower blood pressure significantly. I've seen people with high blood pressure, extremely high blood pressure, have lowering of their blood pressure within a few days. So you guys have to check, okay? Or if you have any concerns, you can work with your medical doctor on titrating off of any medications. But I would say high blood pressure medication, that's one of the easier ones to titrate off of, because you only take it on days where you need it, you know, but it does require regular checking of your blood pressure. And so I would say anyone on their detox journey, regularly check your blood pressure. If you're on this medication, or even if you're not on this medication, you can still check for your blood pressure, because it'll give you a good indication of whether or not your adrenals or your kidneys are healthy, okay? So yeah, so blood pressure can be caused by that. Blood pressure can also be caused by high cholesterol plaquing within the arteries themselves. This blood pressure, you know, if the blood cannot pump through the blood vessels adequately, then this creates pressure in the system. So as soon as you start to dissolve all these cholesterol deposits, or you're not adding to the inflammation in your diet, all this pressure will go down, 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 okay? So the next thing, episodes of fainting diagnosed with vasovagal. I have seen this before, especially in people that have neurotoxicity in their systems. In this person's health assessment, they checked off that they have been exposed to chemicals, heavy metals, or something like that. So it's a high possibility. Given that they have so much stagnation in their lymph system, people with this level of stagnation, it's very easy for neurotoxins to stick around. So we're going to definitely recommend the chem metal detox tincture, as well as aggressively pumping the lymph system to remove any neurotoxicity. Neurotoxicity loves the colon and the stomach is the seat of the autonomic nervous system. So if you have any neurotoxicity in that region, it can cause issues of fainting. People can faint if they see the sight of blood, or they can faint through over exhaustion of heat. If they're around heat a lot, then they can feel like they're fainting or dizzy. All those different types of things can occur. So he also has 6th nerve palsy, experienced double vision. What that tells me is that he has a lot of acidic waste in the head region. And you see all this brown congestion, a lot of acidic waste. We also see right here a little bit of faint cholesterol plaquing. This is pointing to improper blood flow up into the head region. When all these channels are blocked, then the optic nerves or any other of the cranial nerves can go. Acidosis can just start destroying all these optic nerves that control vision, that control the motor function of the eye, the muscles, the vision itself, all those different types of things. So in this case, I would recommend upper circulation, brain and nerve. And I would also recommend, he can do an eye wash, use the eye wash tincture to bathe his eyeballs. You know, you can put the tincture in a shot glass with a little bit of water, in an eyeglass with a little bit of water, and then put it up and let it bathe his eyeballs to try and pull all this lymphatic pressure from the eyes. That's very possible. If he has any other episode of where he has like double vision or vision loss, in those cases you would definitely want to get on a raw eye tissue glandular. So coupled with detoxification and taking the raw eye tissue, that will help regenerate the eye nerves, the eye tissue, and everything to restore proper vision. But in this case, upper circ brain and nerve is a must for sure. Even the brain and nerve formula for proper nerve function to the heart region is extremely important. Now, TIA, a transient ischemic attack, he had that. MRI showed evidence of an old TIA around 2015. That's when they got the MRI. With TIAs, essentially, that occurs very often when people have cholesterol plaquing or calcium deposits. That can create, a mini stroke. That's very possible. And essentially what that means is we just have to clean the body up of all this cholesterol plaquing. So cholesterol plaquing looks like a milky white substance all around the iris. We can see it right here. And for this person, the blood tincture, the blood formula specifically, will help to clean up the blood and help dissolve any cholesterol plaquing. But again, like we said before, why does cholesterol plaquing occur? Cholesterol plaquing does not occur because the liver is overproducing cholesterol. That's the complete opposite. It only occurs in a state of acidosis and when the adrenal glands are down and not producing steroids needed to buffer acidic waste. So in this case, I don't recommend statin drugs. He is on a statin drug. We're going to work him on titrating off of the statin because statins are very deadly. What they do is they suppress the functioning of the liver, because medical doctors think that is an issue with the liver if people have elevated cholesterol levels or cholesterol plaquing, and that's not so. It's very deadly to suppress the function of the liver. You're going to go downhill from there. So that's what this person is facing, and that's what we're going to go after. Next thing is colon tubular adenoma. They saw a lot of polyps in his colon. Essentially, people get that when you see a lot of interstitial lymphatic constipation within the colon. Polyps or tumors or nodules or cysts or pimples, all these things fall under an acidic sky, and if the lymph system is not moving properly. So in order for the body to, the body is always striving to protect itself. It protects itself with cholesterol, it protects itself with water, protects itself from calcium or with calcium, and it also protects itself with mucus and tumors and boils and pimples and cysts and all these different types of things. Think of anything like that as a storage pocket of acidic waste. Okay, a storage pocket of acidic waste that prevents the cells, the surrounding cells, from the burning of this acidic waste. So it is a blessing to have things like nodules or polyps form because it's your body's way of protecting itself. But, when things get out of hand, then that can create a lot of blockages in the body. So you do want to get rid of that. You never want to biopsy any of these things because then it will burst and then all of this acidic waste will start to deteriorate the surrounding cells. So for this issue, I definitely recommend the GI Renew formula, or formerly known as the stomach and bowel formula. The herbs in there are very astringent and they'll pull on all the mucus within the bowel wall. This person has interstitial lymphatic constipation inside, which means there's a lot of lymphatic sewage backing up inside the bowel wall. Something like a colonic only ever achieves cleaning outside the bowel wall, but not inside the bowel wall, which this is an issue. He has some malabsorption as seen right around here in the pupil. It's a very faint brown circle around the pupil that indicates malabsorption. So he's not getting proper nutrition absorption from the foods that he eats. This can also cause tissue decay in the body. Okay, let's see what else. Also Heal-All tea. Heal-All tea, enemas of Heal-All tea is going to be fantastic to help alkalize the region of the colon. These polyps can in the future turn into cancer of the colon, so we want to get rid of this as soon as possible. So Heal-All tea infusions or enemas of the colon, retaining it in there to help those alkaline herbs get going with their properties, with the soothing nature of cleaning out the colon is very good. So they also found small nodules in the neck area. For that, I always say you always want to start draining the head. Start draining the head of all these lymphatic waste, because with nodules, like we said before, nodules are formed when a lot of lymphatic sewage has built up, and it's just a way of the body protecting itself. Depending on how hard the nodule is, this gentleman refused a biopsy, which is very, very wise. Anytime you biopsy, you actually destroy tissue in that area. So you don't need to know what it is. You just need to get rid of it, guys. So I do recommend, a lot of lemon juice, a lot of citrus juice. That's fantastic for dissolving any nodules that you'll find in the thyroid or in the neck region. So that's definitely recommended. And okay. And then they also found a lot of tissue on the base of his lungs. So, all this tissue, think of it as, it could be like an accumulation, or it can be scarring of tissue, or it can be hardening. All these different things occur within the presence of acidosis. So those were his main health concerns. Now we're going to get into the eyes and the signs revealed in the eyes. I'm just taking a sip of lemon juice. Okay, let's get into his eyes. So the first iris sign that I noticed, what do you guys notice? What's the most astounding feature in this eye? Very dark. This dark skin ring, extremely, extremely dark, is going all the way, like almost like covering a good portion of his eye. Now this comes about when someone's thyroid gland is down. This area is the parathyroid thyroid region, quite dark. We even see a little bit of lymph node stagnation around here. A lot of congestion here explains why he has nodules in his neck. Improper sweating ability comes from a low functioning thyroid, because the thyroid controls body temperature, regulates body temperature. So we want to perk up his parathyroid, but we also want to decongest his thyroid first. I wouldn't recommend a thyroid formula or an endocrine formula right away. We want to actually not promote activity in the thyroid, but rather decongest it first. Once we dissolve these nodules, then we can go on and perk up his thyroid gland. But for now, it's more about decongesting the thyroid. Definitely do need parathyroid glandular though. Even if there's a nodule in the thyroid, with all his heart issues and with all his circulatory system issues, this is of huge concern. So what can you do to dissolve this skin ring? There's a lot of detox tools you can do. You can do regular dry brushing every single day to pump the lymph system. You can do dry brushing to just help promote skin health, help get rid of all those dead skin cells, and help the skin to sweat again. You can also go to the sauna regularly. People with heart conditions or people with nervous system weaknesses, just use caution when going into the sauna, especially people that feel like, if they have an adrenal gland weakness, if they run low blood pressure, if they're suspect to things like hypoglycemia or fainting spells or dizzy spells, just use caution when going into the sauna. When you go in there, if you notice that you're starting to feel too lightheaded, then just get out. This is what I conveyed to the gentleman during our call yesterday, but he would benefit from the sauna. If his body can handle it and if he feels okay, I recommend go to the sauna, because this is going to start getting the skin to sweat. That's a major channel of elimination. The skin is the body's third kidney, so you want to go in there and get the skin to sweat. It'll remove a lot of acidic waste and take the burden off of the kidneys. I have seen people say that when they go to the sauna regularly, their kidneys start to filter, which is fantastic. Okay, so now let's go into the other areas of the iris. Now, this is the parathyroid. Up here is the esophageal wall and vocal cords. A lot of chronic weakness right here. So that's of concern. Right here, this is the sinus region. A lot of chronic congestion and sulfur drug deposits, blocking all this from draining. Frontal lobe right here is a bit of a weakness and congestion. Over here, weakness by the motor coordination region in the brain. Over here is the brain stem, the medulla and cerebellum. So this right here, this medulla / brain stem controls things like respiration and heartbeat and blinking and salivation and all these automatic responses that we don't really think about day to day. But this area controls, this area of the brain controls those responses. So it's quite interesting because he does have issues with that. Over here we have, like, this right here is the lung region. So a lot of lymph node swelling, lymph node congestion all throughout the lungs. Very interesting because he does have lung symptoms and lung weaknesses. Right over here, this is a heart weakness. Now the picture is quite blurry, can't really tell if it's inside of the bowel wall or outside of the bowel wall. I think it's outside, but the picture is quite blurry. So he does have an inherent heart weakness going on here. Right here is this thymus gland weakness. This right here is the lower breast, lower lung weakness. So like we said before, the lungs are definitely affected. This is the thymus, like we said before. This right here is the spleen and the pancreas. So every time that he eats something, he does burp, he does experience gas issues. That gives way to fermentation in the body. He has a lot of moles on his body, so that means that fungus is an issue. He craves a lot of starchy foods like potatoes, pasta, rice, bread, all these things due to a lot of fungus. So people that have a pancreas weakness, you have to get them on a pancreas formula to start digesting their foods fully. And you also want to give them parasite M formula to help control cravings during the detox process. That's very important. A big major weakness in this lower half of the body is going to be his adrenal glands, like we said before, and also his leg as well. Now, he did mention to me that when he was younger, in school, he actually was in a bit of an accident where he cut his leg open on a shaft, I think he said. He was hiding on top of a bookcase, and then when he fell, he split his leg open. So this is a result of that weakness right there. This right here is going to be his prostate and bladder region, so that's quite weak. This is his lower back right here, sacral and lumbar spine. You see, when you have adrenal weakness and kidney weakness, the lower back starts to go, the prostate and bladder start to go, when all this lymphatic sewage starts to build up. So you guys can experience things like lower back weakness, lower back pain, kidney pain, weak bladder, and then all those other things that I mentioned, prostatitis, endometriosis, ovarian cysts, all these different types of things, because they are on that lower region of the body, and that area is for the taking. And then right over here is the upper back, so cervical spine, esophagus, all these things in the cervical region. Let's see what else. That's pretty much about it covering this eye. But it's interesting because what color do you think this eye is? If you had to guess. We can see hints of blue coming through. So this eye is actually supposed to be a blue eye. The more this person detoxes their body, they're going to start seeing their natural color blue coming through. The more they start to detox this sulfur, all this orange and brown stuff will start to leave the eye. And so as the eye changes, you can actually see the health of the body start to improve. Now, one of the most, I would say, one of the most concerning areas of this eye is his colon. It's very, very chronically dark. And when you have a colon or a bowel this toxic, it can actually transfer through the nervous system different irritants and different toxins to different areas of the body and affect it. So we see this in the heart region, we see this in the lung region, we see this in the neck region. So it's very important to clean out the colon. The colon is the body's second main channel of elimination. So this person is going to fully expect to see a lot of mucus coming out, a lot of sulfur coming out in the form of like a yellow or orange liquid in their bowels, or yellow mucus or orange mucus, anything like that. So it's very it's very apparent that they're going to experience all those changes within their bowel movements, and that's going to be a sign that detox is actually taking effect and is working. So that's really fantastic. And yeah, that's what I pretty much see. Now I want to stress that with someone, if someone has male reproductive issues and they're experiencing things like low sexual drive or impotence, or anything of that nature, you do not want to take a testosterone formula. You do not want to take a male enhancement formula when you have prostate issues or prostatitis, because if you actually inspire testosterone is more of an acidic hormone. In the presence of acidosis, you don't want to promote any acidic hormone. Same thing goes for females. Estrogen being an acidic hormone, you don't want to promote that. So just stay away from any male enhancement herbal formulas at this time. Clean out your prostate first, and then once your body's cleaned up, then you can go and venture out into those areas. But for this person, I'd recommend the prostate formula to help get rid of inflammation and focusing on the kidneys and adrenal glands, and I would not recommend the male reproductive formula at this time. So I thought that it was really important. And never take any medications that are hormonal. If they recommend hormonal medications, if you have prostate cancer or prostatitis, just don't take them. You don't want to mess with any hormones right now. Okay, so that was the left eye, and the left eye actually points to the health of the left side of the body. So the left adrenal, left kidney, left testy, this is the left testicle right here, not doing so good as well. Remember, we were talking about that the hypertrophy, the testicular hypertrophy that this person is experiencing. So all of these areas are going to just start clearing up and healing up. All the dark areas, they're going to start lightening up as the body heals. And in a perfectly healthy iris, this eye will be a light sky blue. That's going to be our goal here, is a light sky blue. Okay, so on to the next eye. This eye, we can really see just how much acidosis this person's body is suffering from. In the whites of their eyes, you see just how many red capillaries you see, indicating inflammation. This is indicating a lot of inflammation in the lung region and in the chest region, and in the liver as well. A lot of backing up of acidic sewage. This right here, this little dot is on the liver region. Not too sure if it's a weakness or a drug deposit, but it is concerning. Right here is a thymus gland weakness. I don't like that, because people with thymus gland weaknesses tend to have a sluggish lymph system and are prone to things like cancer, so that's concerning. Right here we see a prolapsing of the ascending colon. Whenever we see sagging of the ascending colon, descending colon, transverse, any of those areas, then what we want to do is we want to perk up the parathyroid, utilize calcium, and also clean out the colon, because all these saggings are due to that. Now let's see here. Right here, this is the upper lung and even a little bit of breast area. So we have to address the lungs. Since this person has just so many pocketed areas of lymphatic sewage, I'm going to recommend the 3-lung tea or the lungs tincture, because the herbs in there are fantastic for dissolving any hardened masses or any stagnant lymph situation. So 3-lung tea or lungs tincture, definitely going to recommend that to them. And we can see like how the brown and the orange is distributed in this iris, right? It's a lot more in the upper head region. They have a lot of upper head issues, with their double vision that they experience, with the brain aneurysm, with, the functioning of the heart, all these different things. So we want to address draining of this. It would be fantastic if this person gets a cold and flu-like symptom, if their sinuses start to drain, if they start to see a lot of elimination from their colon. Those things, that's what's going to start to reach the head area as soon as possible and drain all of this out. Really excited to see this person heal. It's going to be really great. Now going down right here, this right here is the right testicle. Ooh, extremely stagnant and even dark. Right there. Right here is the adrenal gland. This is the hip and a little bit of thigh right here. This is the right kidney, not looking too good, a bit of a weakness there. Right here is their prostate, very, very dark. This is bladder right here. There's like a little chronic spot right there. A lot of stagnation seen, a little bit of liver. We have the thymus gland, we have the parathyroid thyroid region right here, and we even have the tonsil region up here. This person did express to me that they actually had their tonsils removed at an early age in life. Not good. Anytime you remove any lymph nodes in the body, then you do, then the lymphatic system suffers, because the lymph nodes are the sites where, all the cellular wastes are taken, they're buffered, they're alkalized before they're sent to the kidneys to be filtered out of the body. So what this person has to focus on is kidney filtration. They must check their kidney filtration every morning or every day. And what kidney filtration looks like is you want to see sediment in your urine, you want to see it cloudy or have mucus strands or have flakes, just anything. The last thing you want to see is clear urine with a case like this. You must achieve kidney filtration as soon as possible to start healing all the conditions that we mentioned in the body right now. More cholesterol plaquing, we see that, But, the cholesterol plaquing, I've seen a lot worse. I would say this dark skin ring is more pronounced than the cholesterol plaquing, which is good. I do believe that this case, they have a strong constitution, so they're going to be able to heal. It's just that this lymph system's been too congested for far too long, to the point where it's definitely affected the tissues and glands and organs. The constricted pupil, this pupil's quite constricted, which tells me that there's a possibility that the body is under a lot of stress, like emotional stress. If the pupil was very dilated, it would mean that there was a nervous system weakness, but it's quite constricted, so it's on the other side, it's on the opposite side. Let me see what else there is. Now, unfortunately, this eye photo doesn't reveal the top portion of the brain. This eye photo did reveal it very well, very nicely, but this eye photo didn't. So that's okay. We're all about just cleaning out the head region right now. Brain and nerve and upper circulation formula will be very adequate at healing this person's body up. And trying to see if there's anything else, okay, I'll go a little bit into the lymph node formula. For this person, I'm going to recommend the lymph node number 2 tincture. That's going to start draining all these lymph nodes and assisting them in breaking down all the sewage in the surrounding tissues. I'm going to recommend a lymphatic. You can start them off a little bit slow. Lymphatic number 1 capsule to start breaking up all this stagnation, and then you work the person up. Lymphatic number 2, once they're done with that, lymph node number 2 tincture, they'll remain on that one for a little bit of a while. You don't want to hit someone with really hard lymphatic herbs too soon. You want to give the kidneys a chance to start to filter everything out. That's really important. Now let me see if I can pull up this person's genetic history, and so I can show you guys how that's being conveyed in the iris. Well, now that we're here, you see extremely high blood pressure. Once the body starts to heal and the blood pressure starts to go down, this person may see blood pressure quite low, probably even in the low hundreds or maybe 110, around there. And they might experience a little bit of fatigue during that time, which is why we want to address the adrenal glands to help support detoxification. This is what their diet looks like. A lot of starches. You have to eliminate the starches. This person's ideal diet is going to look like fruit for breakfast, fruit for lunch, and a salad for dinner, if they're able to do it. If not, fruit for breakfast, salad for lunch, and a cooked veggie meal with the side salad for dinner. That's level 1 of detoxification, and that's what the transition diet looks like. If you guys are having trouble with transitioning or want more recipe ideas, you guys can go to my website at www.spirittropicalhealing.com, and I came out with an ebook called Master Your Detox ebook transition guide, and that in there I offer a lot of tips of how to prep raw foods, how to get your mental and emotional bodies in the right state to do detoxification long term to accomplish your health goals. I go through a lot of different diet programs that you can follow to start to achieve health in your body, and I really like that book. That's a really good book. It does include some cooked recipes, but some good cooked transition recipes. that's necessary sometimes when people are still having trouble, you know, like letting go of things like gluten, or letting go of things like animal products. That's a really good book too, but really anyone can benefit from that book. I am working on a 100% raw level 2 transition detox book right now, but you know, level 1 is fantastic. I really love that book, and I hope to get a hard copy of that book in production. For right now we have the digital copy, but people are really loving it as well, so I'm happy to provide that for you guys. Now he's also, this client, you know, right now, even though they didn't put it on here, they did admit that they have a hamburger like every once in a while, and they eat chicken and fish, you know, but they're very willing to let all of that go in order to heal themselves. I'm gonna go down to the bottom of the sea. I'm gonna go all the way up to, okay, we discussed their chemical medications. We discussed that. Now I'm gonna go down to, okay, their genetic family history. So let's see this side by side, how this is shown in the iris. Okay, so these are the health issues that run in this person's family. Now, if people do not take care of their health, if people do not detox, if people do not get rid of all this lymphatic sewage, and they go after healing the you know, the genetic areas that are very weak in the body, they can experience symptoms like this in the future. So you know, his mom, Alzheimer's and dementia. Very common if you have all this stagnation up in the head region, chronically so. So you have to relieve the brain of all this pressure, because then you can start losing your memory. You know, that's like one of the goals that I told this person, I told this gentleman, you know, even if you don't see your prostatitis as being like a huge severe issue, you'd still want to go on this detox as a preventative measure for these health conditions. Father, high blood pressure, that just points to genetically weak kidneys and adrenals that were passed down. Diabetes, that points to adrenal gland weakness right there. Sugar metabolism issues, this is why he constantly craves starches and has fungal issues. Siblings, he didn't have any information for the grandparents, but that's okay. Siblings, you can see all the health issues passed down in the siblings as well. Heart valve issues, that points to parathyroid or low neurotransmitters from the adrenal glands. Stents, surgery, they even needed surgery. Diabetes, another adrenal gland, adrenal glands all across the board. For diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. Another sibling has high blood pressure, same thing, kidneys and adrenals. Another sibling has cancer, breast then extended throughout the body, lungs and throat. What do we have right there? Ding, 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 cancer. So like we saw right here, thymus gland weakness. Thymus gland weakness. People with thymus gland weakness, very prone to having cancer. Breast then extended throughout the body to the lungs and throat. Ding, ding, ding. Throat right here. This gentleman already has nodules, although he doesn't want to get them biopsied, which is fine. I think that that's a good idea. Lymph nodes backing up all throughout the iris right there. You see all these little white spots? That's backing up of lymph nodes. So people that have cancer, they tend to have lymph node stagnation. And then a weakness revealed in the lungs and the breast as well. I remember showing you guys right here, a weakness in the lung, the upper lung and breast. Very dark, chronically so. And then over here, very dark, lower breast and lower lung weakness, and all this lymph node backing up. Not, you know, the lymph nodes are suffering to be able to remove acidic waste from the lungs. And this person also has, you know, that gathering of tissue on the lower part of their lungs. So this is how iridology reveals everything. It's so accurate. It's such a beautiful science. We can see just how chronic health conditions are and how we can address them with the diet and herbal formulas. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, leave a like. Be sure to subscribe for more videos like this. I'll be releasing more iridology videos in the future. You know, you guys can check out the Detox health Q&As on my channel. I love doing the Q&As for you guys. You know, under this video, you can leave all your questions and comments down below, and I'll get to them. I read them all, and I'll be able to address them in future videos. And if any of you want to work with me one-on-one to really go after your health, you know, truly go after your health and heal all your health issues, because you've just had enough. You've had enough of the medical system. You've had enough of searching for the right answer. Detox is the answer. That's how I was able to heal. That's how so many people are able to heal. This is usually the last thing that people find before they give up. And this is what they find before they heal all their health issues 100%. This is why I'm so passionate about detox, and I'm going to work night and day forever for the rest of my life to help all of you heal. I can't stand to see anyone suffering, like not even a second, because I personally went through extreme suffering, and I just can't. I just cannot stop fighting for you guys. So if you guys want to work with me one-on-one, you can go to www.spiritTropicalhealing.com, and if you go to the services page, you can find the Master Your Health package. There I'll be able to break down everything I saw in your eyes. I'll have your eyes clearly labeled out for you. I'll be able to send you what areas are the weakest. We'll be able to have a Skype call together discussing your findings. You can ask me any questions. I'll be able to give you your diet and herbal protocol plan in order to fully heal, and send you all of the necessary specific PDFs covering the specific detox tools that you should implement, you know. And yeah, I can't wait to work with you. If you want an iridology report, that is also an option, or if you want to work with me one-on-one more long-term, we have the VIP option on the services page as well. All this information will be down in the description box down below this video. Okay guys, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, be sure to check out the other iridology and Q&A videos on our YouTube channel. And I hope you all have a pleasant day, and keep on detoxing. Never stop. Never ever give up. You guys will find your healing, and I'll be here to support you. Okay, I love you guys. Take care. Bye.